Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today we'll be reacting to the history of Thailand. It's gonna be a fun one. If you're new here, this is what we do at the We Project. We learn, we connect history with today. Do that right now.
The history of Thailand has a bit of a foggy beginning. It is not certain when people first came to the region, but fossils of Homo erectus were found in the northern province of Lampang that can be dated all the way back to at least 500,000 years ago.
Dang.
Another location has gifted archaeologists with some of the world's oldest evidence of an agrarian society. Additionally, we do know that consistent inhabitation of the area could potentially date back 10 to 20,000 years, and around 3000 BC.
What does agrarian mean? Not sure.
The Korat Plateau was likely home to bronze workers and farmers, based on archaeological evidence that has been found. The kingdoms of Khmer and Mon began to form in the vicinity of modern-day
And like Dai Viet, which eventually becomes Vietnam's on the right-hand side of Khmer. You got the Chinese people north of there. Myanmar on the left, which nothing yet.
Thailand. These kingdoms served as a notable influence on the culture of contemporary Thailand, as did some of the other peoples who began to show up in the area over the following centuries. By the mid-7th century, the Thai people of Nan Chau were migrating to the mainland of Southeast Asia and began to settle under the dominion of the Khmer Empire. In 1238, Sri Intraditya, a chieftain of the Thai people, formed a new kingdom at Sukhothai and declared independence from the Khmers.
Okay.
The people of this new kingdom became known as the Thais, a word that fittingly means free.
So Thailand means free land? Okay.
These new Thais wanted to separate themselves from the other Thai people who still remained under the control of foreign kingdoms. Throughout the following centuries, the Sukhothai kingdom began to grow and extend its rule across the region of today's Thailand, creating vassal states across Burma, Laos, and the Malay Peninsula. The leaders of this monarchy were known to be kind in comparison to others, and created impressive diplomatic relations with foreign powers, such as that of the Yuan dynasty in China.
Nice.
Unfortunately for the Thais, though, the kingdom began to fall apart. From that point on, Sukhothai's vassal states began to abandon them, and the monarchy was unable to recover before the newly founded Ayutthaya kingdom.
The vassal states basically mean like states under a kingdom, I'm guessing.
Inserted themselves into the equation. In 1378, the Sukhothais were initially forced to surrender to their opposition. By 1438, not even a full century later, the former Great Kingdom became fully absorbed by the Ayutthayas.
Ayutthayas. Okay.
The Ayutthaya Kingdom first came about in the 14th century.
That is insane painting right here. Look at that guy on the left. He's got like peacock feathers. Or are these like palms?
Around which time the city-state of Ayutthaya was founded, in 1350 to be exact. The Ayutthaya Kingdom quickly erupted into the leading power of the region, but its structure differed from some of its adversaries. The Ayutthayas ran under a system of self-governing principalities and provinces, which were headed by members of the royal family who maintained loyalty to the king. The king, in turn, was an absolute monarch, and would spearhead the kingdom's political and economic expansion over the centuries. Surpassing their predecessor of the Sukhothai kingdom, the Ayutthaya kingdom was eventually able to force the long-reigning Khmers into submission, before turning their attention outward. By the start of the 16th century in 1511, the Ayutthayas received their first diplomatic mission from Portugal, who wished to develop a trade relationship.
Not the Dutch. Portuguese have an East company?
With the local Thai kingdom. Since the Portuguese had just captured Malacca from what is now Malaysia, creating a solid trade agreement with the surrounding states proved to be vastly beneficial for both parties. In the 16th century, multiple trade treaties came to fruition, first between the Ayutthaya Kingdom and the Portuguese in 1516, and then another between the Ayutthayas and the Netherlands in 1592. Through the following years, the Thai power sent diplomatic missions to Paris and The Hague, in addition
Siamese to Louis XIV. Is that the Sun King?
to developing commercial ties with the British and the Japanese. Relations between the Ayutthaya Kingdom and the Western powers were quite positive and advantageous, until the consensus among the Thais did a complete flip. The locals began to fear the potential threat of the Western religion, especially following the arrival of missionaries from France, as well as disapproval of the arrival of English warships to the region. The following 150 years marked a time of intentional distancing from the West. Meanwhile,
we see that a lot, not just the Ayuttayas, but that in Japan, we see that in China, that in a lot of places.
The Ayutthayas had fought multiple dynastic and local conflicts within their own kingdom, which eventually settled down, making way for what some historians refer to as the Golden Age. This period was marked by thriving art, education, and literature, and occurred during the latter half of the 18th century. The peace throughout the kingdom and blooming of the arts would sadly be cut short by the Burmese, who had contributed to some of the bloody local disputes prior to this golden era. In 1767, the people of Burma made a final successful attempt to seize the capital of the Ayutthaya Kingdom. The city was absolutely destroyed, and the bordering areas were completely deserted. Structures and humans alike were laid to waste. The kingdom descended into utter chaos and eventually fell under the hand of a former military commander, Phraya Taskin. Taskin,
This is like maybe 1800?
who had escaped the siege of the capital, declared himself to be the new king and moved the king's capital to Thonburi, which was just across the river and had better trade opportunities. Utilizing this advantage, Taskin promptly promoted Thai trade with China. While Taskin was triumphant in keeping the Ayutthaya Kingdom from facing total destruction, he was still dethroned and executed in 1782 by a coup under the command of General Chow Phraya Chakri. General Chow now took the throne, styling himself as King Yotfa, and was the first of the Chakri dynasty that still rules Thailand today. He had the capital moved once again, this time to what is now Bangkok.
That's where Bangkok comes from.
The state of the kingdom was known as Siam, and a strong focus was put on the political, cultural, and military rebuilding. This new wave of kings besieged the capitals of Laos and Cambodia. Having already created trade treaties with the colonizing British and the United States, the Thais began to focus even more on forming favorable relationships with the enclosing Western powers, such as the British, US, and the French. Trade with the West skyrocketed and had a great impact on the Thai economy, now connecting it to the world monetary system. Still, foreign powers urged the current monarch, King Mangku, to create a series of legal and administrative reforms in order to be seen as an equal by the West.
But
The death of King Mangku in 1868 complicated the matter, but the reforms did not come under the reign of Chulalongkorn.
Chulalongkorn. Okay, that's not a hard name. Chulalongkorn.
Near the end of the 1800s. The new king abolished slavery and the corvée system, created new European-style schools, formed a police force and standing army, updated the legal system, established a salaried bureaucracy, and essentially overhauled the entire of Siam's outdated policies.
When was this? Like, I'm imagining close to 1900.
The first railway network between Ayutthaya and Bangkok was also opened. All of this was done with extensive advising from the West, most predominantly the British. While
British Empire, which included all of that territory. That's insane. My God, they had entire world around their finger.
While some anti-reformists were dissatisfied with the king's decisions, others regarded him as a skilled diplomat who was a genius in avoiding colonization by playing Western nations against each other and using them to his own advantage. Either way, as the British and French pushed their colonial efforts further, Siam was forced to give up some of their territory, such as in Laos and Cambodia, and in the northern Malay in exchange for maintaining independence. Continuing its positive relations with the Western powers, Siam joined the Allies and declared war against Germany in World War I.
There were Germanic islands, and is that why?
As a result, at the end of the war, Siam received commending amendments to their treaties with France and Britain, took impounded German ships that would be used in its merchant marine, and was present at the Peace Conference of Versailles in 1919. Siam
I know Japan was present because they overtaken islands and their island hopping camp, which imperialism too. But Siam
was also a founding member of the League of Nations. Post-World War I in 1932, a bloodless coup led by a group known as Kana Ratsadon.
Bloodless? Meaning, no one got killed?
The People's Party brought about the end of the absolute monarchy and replaced it with the first constitutional regime. The first parliamentary elections were held in November of 1933. Shortly after, as World War II broke out, the Thai people collaborated with the Japanese, allowing them to pass through to the British-controlled Malay Peninsula and Burma. In January of 1942, the Prime Minister of Thailand agreed to a mutual defense pact with Japan.
Well, dang. See if I can pronounce his name. Black Sibun Sungkam,
which included a declaration of war against Britain and the United States. Thankfully for the nation, in the end, the Thai ambassador charged with delivering the declaration to the US government refused to do so. In 1944, the Prime Minister was forced to resign and was subsequently tried for war crimes. The following decades were filled with governmental
we just switched to Thailand.
Uncertainty, as power was repeatedly passed between a democracy and military dictatorship after the resolution of World War II. Economic struggles ensued as well, namely the Asian financial crisis in 1997.
I didn't know about the Asian financial crisis in 1997. That's when I was born.
And more political and governmental unrest continued. In 2017, after the crowning of Prince Vajiralongkorn as king, a new constitution was signed, with its aim at finally bringing democracy back to the nation.
That was in 2017? That's it, guys. King Rama X is going to close this out here. I would love to learn a little bit more about a few things. One, free Siam, the area there, kind of like interesting, like Burmese, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, all those that are sitting there today, the ones that are sitting there, the difference of culture and people and their allegiances, their not only their nationalities. I don't really care too much about the nationality part, but like the peoples, the ethnic groups. Be interesting to learn a little bit more about that. Also, like, what did Siam do in World War One, especially to get a seat at the table? Okay, and then what was like the coup d'état after World War II? Is that how we went from Siam to Thailand? Any questions? Appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching at this point. Let me know down below if you have a video recommendation or any questions or answers to anything I asked. Nevertheless,